Barak, Yahweh, Alam, Shalom, righteous family. Welcome back to True Talk.
Movement is all about, and then we'll get into why I said our young men really rule the world.
Now, it has come to my attention that the quarter zip community has grown quite extensively over recent. And to that, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the community. Now, I like to consider myself one of the vets that exists in this community. And because of that, I felt it was partly responsible on my behalf to share some of the ground rules that do exist in this community, okay? Because after all, the quarter zip way, this is a lifestyle. Now, the first ground rule is you got to conduct yourself professionally at all times while wearing a quarter zip. No unruly behavior, no menace activity. You can't have on the quarter zip and still act like you in a Nike Tech. You can't do that. It don't work like that. This quarter zip represents elegance and diplomacy. So that Nike Tech behavior, you got to leave that in the past. Now, the second ground rule is quarter zip men, we are respectful men. We are polite men. We are well-mannered. We do not use profanity. We do not speak vulgarly, but we articulate how we feel with a strong vocabulary and emotional intelligence. Now, if I lost some of y'all on that second ground rule, this quarter zip not the lifestyle for you. So you may continue in your Nike Tech ways. Now on to the third ground rule, and I may lose some of y'all here, right? But quarter zip men, we don't listen to certain music, all right? We don't ride around listening to certain music. We don't ride around listening to how many ops we can today. We don't do that. But instead, you'll find quarter zip men riding around listening to some gospel, some Marvin Sapp, some Yolanda Adams, some Maverick City. That's the stuff we listen to. Or some jazz, some Charlie Parker, John Coltrane. We listen to that kind of music. Now, the fourth ground rule is a quarter zip man must smell good at all times. It is sacrilegious as one that weareth a quarter zip to be found musty or untaken care of, as one that has poor hygiene. That is vehemently prohibited. And lastly, the fifth ground rule, and I'll say this is the most important of them all. Quarter zip men, we attend Bible study. That's how we stay out of trouble.
For the longest time,
Now, I had to start off by playing that because there seemed to be a movement among certain group of Israelite men to wear a quarter zip. And it's this, what they call pristine way of separating themselves from quote unquote the thugs looking different. Now, they didn't say that out loud, but that's kind of how I'm taking it. You know, it reminds me of that skit that I hate ever exists that Chris Rock did when he stood up in front of millions. I said millions because he was on TV. This was shown on TV. I think it was a company, his company section or whatever. But he said there's two type of black people. They say you got black people and you got the Nigger. But of course he said with the A instead of ER. But that's what he really mean. And he was saying the difference between a black person and the hard R, the N with the hard R, is kind of what this young man said. You know, this how black people conduct themselves. But if you see somebody cussing and got a 40 in their hand, that ain't no black person. That's a Negro or Nia, you know. And people is laughing, and still to this day, you hear certain white people. I heard certain racist white people use that ideology. They say, I ain't got a problem with black people. I got a problem with N words. Black people are nice and good and this and that. It's the N words. That's who I call the N words. The one who act like an N word, who act like an N word. If you act like an N word like that racist white woman call a little kid an N word, because you know kids usually don't share or get along, maybe bad at the part or whatever. And this grown lady called this young black boy, this kid, an N word, and white people's like, yeah, yeah. How intelligent these people are. But they was, and she was like, well, if he act like an N word, I'm gonna call him N word. How does an N word act? Because he's talking about like throwing shade at night tech. Don't he know the same people that benefit off night tech benefit off quarter zip? And he was like, if you wear quarter zip, you got to be professional. So I can't be professional in a regular T-shirt. I can't be professional in some night tech. That's what he said. And I gotta say this. That's why the what's that movement called? The Nation of Islam. You know why? I really did a deep study and guide and looked into that, and I was wondering why Fair was the con. With all the racist mark he made, why was this man on so many talk shows? Why they blew him up? Why this nation was blown up in this country? And none of the government tried to shut it down. Now, when the Black Panthers, oh, they tried to they shot that down, locking and killing people, making them the face of everything bad. Martin Luther King, they shot him down. Malcolm X, they shot him down. Malcolm X even left the Nation of Islam. So it made me wonder why did this dude so famous? And when I looked into it, I was like, they really teach their people to conform to this society. They teach them to be what I call the good Negroes. You gotta, if you look at every Nation of Islam, they got haircuts, shave face, wear bow ties and suits. You'll never see a Nation of Islam with dreads or braids or his natural hair or with a face full of beard or with an African garment on it when they claim to love and know about African traditions like and they got there's some truth there. Yeah, they got some knowledge. Where they get from the scriptures like not eating pork. But a lot of their scientists, what they believe in is off. But nevertheless, just had to say that. So it almost remind me of the black person that think if I dress up and put on the suit that I get treated better. And this what this is. I don't want to be seen as the bad Negro. I don't want them to look at me as a thug or a gangster. And all these things that he named, what a person that dressed in baggy jeans or a tee or a do rag can't be none of that stuff he named. Can't read the Bible. Can't smell good. Can't not cuss and be professional and all that stuff. Like it just brings to me of a dividing between who you are and who I am. That's what this quarter zip movement kind of do. It's like, no, we not thugs, we not gangsters, and I'm gonna prove it because I'm gonna wear this tie and I'm gonna dress like this. So when you see me, you can know what type of young man I am. Now, do I believe clothes have identity? That if you wear certain clothes, it tells a story about you. Uh, there's a saying you can't know the book by the cover. But yeah, for the most part, I think certain clothes you wear is a hint. It do kind of, how can I put it? See, because I come from what they call the hood. I'm from a small town. I ain't come from no rough hood where there was, a whole bunch of killing. But I do come from the hood where there was drug dealers. Yes, people died and, regular hood stuff. But nevertheless, the culture that I'm from, the way that I dress, the way I see my cousins dress, the people who I want to dress like, it mold me. And the way that I dress, people would consider me a thug. That's why, I felt Tupac when he said, yes, I am going to say I'm a thug. Not because I want to rob and rape people, but because I'm from the gutter and I'm still here. I consider myself a thug not because I'm a criminal and I want to kill and steal. I consider myself a thug because of where I grew up at, because how I dress, because how I talk. Because when they look at me, they say, that's a thug. I didn't come from the suburbs, a good part of the neighborhood. I was a single parent, and yes, I did stupid stuff and got locked up. I don't talk perfect English. I'm every bit of what they'll say a thug is without the attention to do crime. Because every quote unquote thug is just a young black boy from the hood that dress a certain way and talk a certain way. And because I dress and talk a certain way, that means I'm not professional, I'm not intelligent. And that's the myth, the thing that's going on. And I think what a lot of these people doing is saying, because if you put a black man that's educated in the hood, a black man, he just look like another thug. But if you put him in a suit or tie, you might say, he, he, he may not be a thug, and that's the ideal. The idea of let's separate, let's show that we're not this way. And it comes off as we want to be validated by people. We want to prove that we're not a certain way, and that's why we showing this. In my way, it's a way of being. If I be frank, and I'm pretty sure a lot of these people are proud to be black or whatever, but it's kind of house niggerish. Let me show master I'm the book. I'm the good Negro. That I'm the good boy. Well, I'm like, I don't care if you think I'm a thug or dumb, because who I am, how I dress, and how I talk represent where I come from, and you don't know nothing about me. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the intelligence I got. You don't know the love I got. You don't know nothing about me. If you know anything, you know I'm from the hood. That I'm a young black boy that came from the struggle. But nevertheless, another thing why I don't like about this is you remember when Nelly came out with that song, Stumping in My Air Force Ones. I listened to that the other day, man. It still snapped. And it was a wave of people going out and buying Air Force Ones. And still to this day, when certain people ask Nelly, did you have a deal with Air Force One? Did you get paid for it? He said, nah. He said, if I knew better before I made a song, I would have made a deal or whatever. But I mean, just think about if he would have made a deal with Air Force One, how much money and recognition he would have got off that. But a lot of times we support the enemy, white people things, and get them rich because what we do is fashionable. Everybody do it. Remind me of that rapper Run DMC in my Adidas, uh, uh, Adidas. Now I do believe they made some type of deal and was able to get money after the song. But nevertheless, what if Adidas decided not to work with them and would have just had a whole bunch of people buying their shoes off that song? And I say all this because this is not black owned, it's quarter zip. And I was trying to look up who owned this. Now, if you see this, I was trying to look up who owned it. And right here, I said, who is the founder of quarter zip? They brought up this young black man who started the trend. And everywhere I went to digging, they went to bring up this young black man name that started this trend. To how can we say as if that clothing belonged to him. But that's not what I asked. And I was getting frustrated because I'm asking a simple question. And look what it says, the founder of Quarter Zip, Trend. I ain't asked who was the founder of the trend. I'm trying to say who's the sweater. But I finally did some digging. I had to go into the history of it. And Sportswear on it. Who is Sportswear? Columbus Sportswear is a company, is an American company that manufactures and distributes outerwear, sportswear, and footwear, as well as blase, blase, blase. So it's a company. The company is a headquarter of Central Mills. So it's a corporation, and There's a lot of people that got stocks in this incarceration. Nike, like many companies and businesses, and I forgot they said the name of the top person that uh, had the biggest uh, stock in this company. But this is not black owned. We want black ethnic. Wouldn't we want to shop with our own people? What happened to blind black only, or at least shopping with black businesses more to help our people? Because we get everybody else millions while our people are struggling. That they have a shop for 6 months, then it's go out of business because the people, our people, won't shop at it. We'll make stuff like this famous, make trends like this instead of making a black owner shop or store famous. And the young boy, he was on the news. They had him on the news and everything. And he was like, and yeah, he did not create this. He bought it and made a video. The dude, let me go back to the dude that made the TikTok that got famous. This dude right here. This the one that made a TikTok and made it famous. And the news said that he graduated. He wanted to get a job. So to get a job, he felt like you know that was the best look. Okay, bravo. That's what's up. But this whole movement, a lot of people like, yeah, this is good for our young black men. You don't have to wear your clothing does not speak character. There's gangsters that wear suits. There's wicked, ungodly people that wear suits. We know some of the most horrible, wicked people are pastors that hold the Bible in their hand and got suits, talking about God on Sunday, but behind closed doors raping the kids of their congregation, little girls and boys. The Catholic Church, how many of their priests done been charged and all that for raping little boys? Men's in clout, but when you see them, oh, those holy men. So no, I don't promote how a person dress is who they are, or if we want our young men to be better and be better young men, oh, just get them this outfit and they'll look and you'll be this way because it's deception, it's lies. If I see a man in a quarter zero, that don't mean that he's professional. He's this way, he's intelligent, and all this. It's a front. You know people who they are by their character, by talking to them. How about let's just teach our young men to be righteous, good young men, and whatever they want to wear a dress. Because I'm down for what's wrong with what the way that I dress or we dress. Do we not dress dope? Are we not fly? Can I not be fly and intelligent, professional? And I know, certain outfits. If you go looking for a job or you work somewhere, you know, there's uniforms for everything. And I just want to show this little video because the truth is this fashion stuff we've been doing it. We've been doing it.
Henceforth we decree and declare the forsaking of hoodies, doggers, and all manner of common wear. We are rooted, sovereign in our essence, adorned in cultural regalia, African prints, sumptuous traditional sets, and our queens. Yoga pants are no fit for their majesty. Behold them in glory. Kaftans, bubus, dashikis heritage cascading over their resplendent forms. Rich African energies flow, steeped in style and consciousness. Palm wine cradled in hand, puff puff gracing the platter. Herbal teas steeped with care, roasted nuts and such fruits. This is no fleeting fashion, no ephemeral whim. It is our way, our lineage, our birthright. We walk in our roots, cloaked in ancestral dignity. identity, African pedigree, majestic black legacy. Every stitch, every hue, every intricate pattern, black excellence incarnate. That is who we are. Regally, proudly, richly African.
Living a dream, living the African dream.
So now this trend so worldwide, you know, everything Black America do is emanate all over, like because American media it goes everywhere. And shout out to Africa. Africa was like, you know what? I see a lot of our people adopting this trend, this European company based quarter zip. And they made a video like, nah, we ain't gotta jump on this trend. We got tradition, we got history, we got garments and clothes on our own that's fly, and they represent professional, they represent intelligent, they represent all those things of esteem and royalty. And speaking to my called FBA's Foundational Black Americans, the way that we dress, like we're gonna abandon that and try to basically put on something like a suit and a tie to separate ourselves from what? To say what exactly? Don't character speak louder than anything? What I want to do, I want to walk somewhere with looking how I look, with dress how I look, and let my character, my love speak for itself. And yes, my outfit, like I'm proud to be a quote unquote hood nigga. I want that to be known as well. That I'm a descendant of the slave trade. My roots are in Africa. And I put on those African garments, like, and I will put on a suit and a tie. I put on anything and make it look good. This is not about shaming anybody that wanna wear a quarter zip or wear a suit or look good. Just remain you and don't do it so you can get separate yourself or you can be seen as uh be seen a certain way by people. Because there's Negroes in suits and ties, plenty of stories of black men wearing a suit in the courtroom and getting treated certain ways, getting pulled over and still like they don't change. Like in some sense, yeah, it may change. The cop may pull you over and say, "Oh, he got a suit, so I'm gonna treat him better." Or, he got a he dressed like this, so I'm gonna treat him worse. But that shows the attention and heart in that person. No matter how you dress a look, your character, I'm gonna treat you according to how you act. And I just don't like this whole separating thing of hey, in my opinion, saying hey, we are not the thugs and the gangsters that everybody talking about. Look, I got on a quarter zip. I don't know if I'm making sense. Are y'all feeling me? I'm speaking my mind. I'm speaking my opinion. I'm speaking out what I'm at the discernment I'm getting while I'm thinking this movement is big among certain people, and the idea about it is to say we are good people, we are professionals. So almost like a Negro in a hoodie and a Negro in a suit. Which one's the better one? Which one is educated? But I like to hear y'all feedback, man. But at the end of the day, let y'all be true and every man a lie. Till next time, Shalom.